given that brain cell terminators had to do without the services of star running back Adrian Peterson and had to deal with multiple injuries to the starting lineup. Coach John Slavsko has to be extra happy with the final result this week. Brain cell terminators slid by sleepers, winning 74.98 to 65.84. Brain cell terminators won despite having the fourth lowest scoring total in the league this week. The game leaves both teams squared up at 1 win and 1 loss. The bottom part of Coach Slavsko's draft came through for them this week. The Bengals defense/SD scored 14 points, Adam Vinatieri got 9, and Bernard Pierce dropped 10.3. Meanwhile, it will be difficult for Coach Eric Rainey to fault any one player for the loss. Sleepers has 6 underperformers, with Noshan Moreno, 0.4 points, being the worst. Moreno dislocated his elbow on his very first play from scrimmage and is now out until mid-October. Unfortunately, both of these teams got their fair share of bad player news during the injury festival that was week 2. Jomo Charles left after 2 carries, with what was later diagnosed as a mild high ankle sprain. How much time he'll miss is still up in the air. As for brain cell terminators, Ryan Matthews sprained his MCL, which will keep him out for at least 4 weeks. In the only close game this week, Sprinkles just barely got past Showtimers, winning 104.74 to 100.88. That makes it back-to-back close games for both of these teams. The game evens up both teams' records at 1-1. Sprinkles stumbled big time right from the get-go. They had 3 underperformers, with Pierre Thomas, 3.2 points, bringing up the rear. Meanwhile, Coach Justin Valo's squad was doing pretty good. They were powered by Jimmy Graham, who scored 23.8 points. Graham caught a career-high 10 passes on Sunday, including this unguardable back shoulder TD catch. Going into late Sunday, our projections gave Sprinkles only a 16.6% chance of winning. Coach Jim Smart's squad blew those projections out of the water. Antonio Gates did 20.9 points better than he was expected to, which was enough to give Sprinkles an unlikely victory. Coach Joshua Smart went on limb by drafting Darren Sproles in the 6th round, and has to be feeling pretty vindicated after this week's action. Sproles was the key component as Hinskies got the job done against Teehees, winning 111.84 to 100.26. His 24.8-point performance was the most that any running back collected this week. He was a one-man thunder and lightning, slipping past and bowling over defenders on both this 51-yard catch and 19-yard TD run. Hinskies also got a big effort from the Panthers defense/SD, 8 points above expected. Meanwhile, Coach Spiewak can blame the loss on the Seahawks defense/SD, Torrey Smith and Jason Witten, who together managed only 5.2 points. Smith is now sitting on just 4 catches for the year. The win takes Hinskies' record to 2-0, while dropping Teehees to 1-1. In a week that featured 3 blowouts, this was the biggest. Strong Arm made it look easy against paper champions, winning 138.92 to 85.2. The 138.9 points Strong Arm scored set the high mark for the league this week. The win brings Strong Arm back to even at 1-1. The loss drops paper champions' record to 0-2. Strong Arm were led by the tag team of the Patriots defense/SD and Jordy Nelson, who together put up 59.9 points. Strong Arm also got a good performance from DeMarco Murray, who scored 22.3 points. Murray took advantage of huge holes created by his O-line for most of the day, but needed a strong extra effort for his only TD. It was, unfortunately, a costly win for Strong Arm. Mark Ingram, who had finally established himself as a viable fantasy option, broke his hand, is likely out for a month or more. On top of that, Robert Griffin III suffered a no-contact dislocated ankle and will be out for at least 4 to 6 weeks. Meanwhile, this week's loss for paper champions was a true group effort. The Steelers' defense/SD was the worst of a 5-man group of underperformers, racking up only 2 points. Greasy line dogs sent the drunken soldiers crying home to mommy after a thorough 118.6 to 68.1 spanking. The win brings Greasy Line Dogs' record to 2-0, while dropping the Drunken Soldiers to 1-1. Greasy Line Dogs won with a balanced effort, as 5 players outperformed their positional averages. Arian Foster was the best of the bunch, recording 21 points. Foster was surrounded by no fewer than 5 Raiders by the time he fell into the end zone at the end of this 40-yard run. Meanwhile, Matt Ryan was the main culprit in the Drunken Soldiers' loss, scoring only 12 points. That was quite a fall-off from last week, when he scored 38.4 points. Coach A Very Bad Drafter did their part in the victory, setting a perfect lineup. That took more than just following the experts' advice. They left Roddy White and his 13.3 expected points on the bench, favoring DeAndre Hopkins' 6.3 points expected. This decision netted Coach Very Bad Drafter an extra 4 points, which only added to Greasy Line Dogs' domination. Coach Very Bad Drafter's perfect lineup was the only one set this week. The Cardinals' defense/ST helped give Root Killers an easy win this week. The experts had Root Killers winning this one easy. The experts were all kinds of right. Root Killers crushed Boozers, winning 106.38 to 71.16. The win evens up Root Killers' record at 1-1. Root Killers got a nice group performance in the win, as 4 players beat their positional averages. The Cardinals' defense/ST was the first among equals, scoring 20 points. 2. Coach John Polovina will find no easy scapegoat for this week's loss. Boozers were brought down by 7 underperformers, the worst of whom was Tom Brady, 12 points. 1 Brady was an efficient 15 of 22, but didn't have to do much in the Patriots' blowout victory. Coach Triflers did their part to secure the victory this week. They left Carlos Hyde, Desian Jackson, and Sean Green on the bench, starting 3 different players who were each expected to score less. Incredibly, each of these decisions ended up being the right call. They boosted Root Killers' final score by 21.4 points, which just made the final result that much more embarrassing. Starting Stacy also earned Coach Triflers the Volkswagen Start of the Week honors, netting more points than any other coaching move. Enjoy Yak It to